4 months. That is how long America has been bombing Iran. 4 months of missiles, ceasefires, threats and deals. And what did they achieve? Not one single military objective. Not the nuclear program dismantled, not the regime collapsed, not the Strait of Hormuz opened on American terms, not Iran's resistance broken. Zero. Nothing. Nil. And yet the bombs keep falling, the ceasefires keep getting signed, and then broken, and then signed again, and then broken again. Welcome to the theatre. And today we are going to name every actor on that stage. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel jointly launched strikes on Iran. Washington called it Operation Epic Fury. The goal was clear: destroy Iran's nuclear capability, force regime change, and bring Tehran to its knees. That was 4 months ago. What happened instead? Iran absorbed the strikes, regrouped and retaliated, wave after wave. The IRGC launched ballistic missiles and drones at US assets across the region, hitting targets in Kuwait, striking near the US Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. Iran launched what the IRGC itself called Operation True Promise 4. And by the 100th wave of missile and drone strikes, it was America that blinked first. By late June, Trump declared a ceasefire. Then within days, the bombs fell again. This is the pattern: bomb Iran, sign ceasefire, bomb again, negotiate, break the deal, bomb again. On June 27th, the US launched fresh strikes on Iranian military surveillance infrastructure, communication systems, air defense sites and drone storage facilities. This is the cycle, and it will not stop until something changes fundamentally. Now, here is what the mainstream media does not want you to focus on. Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, fully, completely. 20% of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas passes through that narrow waterway every single day. 20%. The global economy breathes through that strait. Every time the oil market panics about Hormuz, prices spike. Every time a ceasefire is announced, prices drop. Trump knows this. His entire deal theatre is partly about controlling the oil price. The ceasefire is not about peace. It is about the oil price. And Iran holds the switch. While the world watches the Iran nuclear negotiations, something far more brutal is happening in Lebanon. Israel launched a full-ground invasion of Lebanon in March 2026. Since then, it has occupied over 570 square kilometers of Lebanese territory. It has forcibly displaced more than 1.2 million Lebanese civilians, more than 20% of the entire country's population. Amnesty International has formally declared Israel's mass displacement orders to be a war crime, a grave breach of the Fourth Geneva Convention. On June 24th, just last week, Israeli drone strikes killed civilians in southern Lebanon, even while Israeli and Lebanese diplomats were meeting in Washington for peace talks. While the talking was happening, the bombs were falling. The Lebanon death toll since March 2026 has now crossed 4,000 people. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said bluntly, "Israel will not withdraw from Lebanon even if there is an American demand." And what did Washington say? America supports Israel's right to self-defense. That is the relationship. That is the alliance. That is the peace process. Trump and Iranian President Pezeshkian signed the Islamabad Memorandum on June 17, 2026. The mainstream media called it a historic peace deal. And within days, America bombed Iran again. Every ceasefire announcement moves the oil price. Every fresh bombing justifies military budgets. Every peace deal buys time for Israel to grab more land, displace more civilians, and consolidate more occupation. Trump threatened on April 7th, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back." On April 1st, he said he would bring Iran back to the Stone Ages. Then days later, he extended the ceasefire, then bombed again, then negotiated, then bombed again. You cannot believe in America. You cannot believe in Israel. The lie is their biggest weapon. Iran has survived something extraordinary. A coordinated military campaign by the United States, Israel, and allied Gulf states. And yet Iran's government stands. Its military answers back, and the Strait of Hormuz remains under Iranian control. Iran survived a combined United States-Israeli strike, and it retaliated effectively enough that America chose to negotiate rather than escalate to total war. So what actually stops this cycle? Not negotiations. We have seen what negotiations produce. Another round of bombs. Not ceasefires. They have been violated by both sides, but consistently used by Israel to grab more territory while the shooting pauses. Not international pressure. The United Nations calls Israel's actions war crimes. Nothing changes. History shows only one thing that stops a powerful aggressor from endlessly bombing a smaller nation: the credible threat of devastating, unacceptable retaliation. That is the logic of nuclear deterrence. It is the same logic that has prevented a direct war between NATO and Russia for 80 years, the same logic that protects Pakistan, North Korea, and Israel itself, which has an undeclared nuclear arsenal the West refuses to discuss publicly. NATO is already stretched in its proxy war with Russia. The United States has exhausted enormous political capital, military resources, and credibility in this 4-month campaign and achieved nothing decisive. America bombs nations that cannot hit back at existential levels. It does not bomb Russia, it does not bomb China, it does not bomb North Korea. Iran is not Russia. But the principle is the same. Deterrence works because the alternative is unthinkable. The ceasefire is theatre. The peace deal is theatre. The only thing that is real is power. The cycle continues today. The bombs are still falling. The talks are still happening. The land is still being taken. So I want a real answer from you, not a polite one. Should Iran keep trusting peace deals with men who've lied to their face for 4 months straight? Or should Iran build nuclear deterrence and make sure no one ever dares to bomb them again? Comment peace deal if you still believe in their promises. Comment nuclear deterrence if you think enough is enough. Say it loud in the comments. And if this video just made you see the game they're playing, share it everywhere. Because this is the story behind the story.